Okay, this video looks at percentages. Now, percentages are used extensively to make comparisons. Now, why you can use comparisons, if you had a test out of 40 and a test out of 60, you don't know how to compare them. You don't know which one's better. But if we convert them to a percentage, then we can compare. Now, a percentage is just a fraction with a denominator of 100. It's just that the over 100 bits replaced with a percentage sign. So 9 over 100 is 9%. Now, if we're converting to go to a percentage, so a decimal to a percentage, we times by 100. A fraction to a percentage, we times by 100. So if we're converting to a percentage, always times by 100. If you're going from a percentage to a decimal, we're going to do divide by 100. A percentage to a fraction, we put it over 100, which is essentially divide by 100. So let's look at some examples here. Changing decimals to a percentage, we just multiply by 100. So here it's 23.86 times by 100. Now you can go to your calculator or you just move the decimal point twice because there's two zeros. It's 100. So 2386%. Okay, yes, you can have a percentage greater than 100. Things increase. 0.033 times by 100. Move your decimal point. You get 3.3%. Okay, 7 over 10, changing a fraction of percentage, 7 over 10 times by 100. Now you can do it by hand and go 10 into 10 is 1, 10 into 100 is 10, 7 times 10 is 70. Or just go to your calculator, 7 divided by 10 times by 100, and it'll give you 70. Here we have a mixed number, so we'll change it to an improper fraction. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7 over 2. So that was 3 times 2 plus 1 all over 2. We then times that by 100. Again, you could do it by hand. 2 into 2 is 1, 2 into 100 is 50, then 7 times 50 is 350%, or go to your calculator. 7 divided by 2 times by 100. Okay, now let's go from percentages to a fraction. Now all you have to do is put it over 100, so 27 over 100. See if you can simplify it. We can't. 27's an odd number, 100's even, so I can't divide either of those. So 60 over 100 we can simplify. Take off a 0 from both. 2 goes into both 6 and 10, so we divide both top and bottom by 2, and we get 3 over 5. Okay, now we're going from percentage to a decimal. We just divide by 100. Again, you can go to your calculator or you just move the decimal point twice and backwards because you're making it smaller. So 0.28. Here it'd be 135 divided by 100, move the decimal point or go to your calculator, so 1.35. Okay, so just a little bit of background there. So let's look at some problems. Now, if we want to compare quantities, we need to be able to convert them to a fraction and then to a percentage. Okay, so let's look at that. So step 1, we're going to write it as a fraction. And then we're going to multiply the fraction by 100, so we're converting our fraction to a percentage. So what percentage is 10 of 50? So it's going to be 10 over 50 times by 100. So the key is make a fraction, then change it to a percentage by timesing by 100. Okay, so 50 into 50 is 1, 50 into 100 is 2, 10 times 2 is 20%. Okay, alternatively go to your calculator, 10 divided by 50 times by 100. Okay, 5 months of 2 years. Now these are in different units, so we're going to have to change that 2 years to 24 months. So 2 times 12. So here it's going to be 5 over 24 times by 100. Now I wouldn't be doing this by hand. I'd go straight to my calculator and go 5 divided by 24 times by 100, and I get, it's an approximate answer, approximately 20.83%. And I've just rounded to 2 decimal places. If you're going to round to one decimal, the nearest whole number, be 21%. Okay, next, $36 of $36 is 60 cents. Now note this is written the other way around. Is 5 months of 2 years? This is of $36 is 60 cents. So first of all, I need to change that $36 into cents. So that's going to be 3,600 cents. So it's going to be 60 over 3,600 times by 100. I'm going to cross off some zeros. Okay. 60 divided by 36, straight to my calculator. and again it's an approximate 1.67%, or to the nearest whole number would be 2%. Again, you could have just gone straight to your calculator here and gone 60 divided by 3,600 times by 100, and you would have got the same answer. Okay, now let's look at percentage increase and decrease. Calculation of percentage increase or decrease is based on the original amount. Okay, it's always over the original, always. Okay, so the production of phones increased from 25,000 in the initial year to 40,000 in the following year. What was the percentage increase? So your first step is to determine what the increase is. So that's going to be 40,000 minus 25,000. Okay, so you need to work out what the increase is in order to work out what the percentage is going to be. So that gives you 15,000. So your percentage increase is going to be your increase, your 15,000 over the original. Now originally it was 25,000. That's how many there were in the beginning. And then to change it into a percentage, so this is my fraction just like previously, and to change it into a percentage we times by 100. Okay, so you can go straight to your calculator, or you can simplify. I'm just going to go straight to my calculator. So 15,000 divided by 25,000 times by 100 gives me 60%. So it's gone up by 60%. Next, a shop buys a shirt for $30 and sells it for $85. What is a percentage profit? Well, the profit is going to be the 85 minus the 30. Okay, so you have to know, well, what did they increase it by? So that's $55. Your percentage profit, or your percentage increase in this case, is going to be, make that a bit neater, is going to be 55 over the original, which was 30, that's what it was originally, times by 100. Again, I've made my fraction, and then I times it by 100 to make it a percentage. So 55 divided by 30, then times by 100, and I get approximately 183.33%. Or to the nearest whole number, or nearest percent, 183%. Now this would be the same if I was looking at percentage loss. Okay, it'd just be what is the loss, and then the loss over the original. Okay, key is always over the original. Next, finding a percentage of a certain quantity. Now to find the percentage of a quantity, convert the percentage to a fraction or a decimal, and multiply it by the other number. So here I've got what is 15% of 400 kilos. So the first thing is I convert that percentage to a fraction. So it's just 15 over 100. Okay, so that's the first step. 15% is 15 over 100. Then I times by the other thing, which is 400. Okay? Now I can go straight to my calculator, or I can do it by hand. 15 times 4 is 60. Okay, so 15% of 400 kilos is 60 kilos. Your other option, 15 divided by 100 times by 400, straight on your calculator. Next, calculate 55% of $650. So 55 over 100 is my percentage, and then we times it by 650. Go to your calculator, 55 divided by 100 times by 650, and you get 357.5. Now it's dollars. I'm going to have to put in a dollar sign and add a 0. So now let's look at an applied problem. We've looked at the basics, now let's apply it. Assume the selling price per unit is $15 and the variable costs per unit are $9. Calculate the contribution margin and the contribution margin percentage. Now I'm not going to go into the details of this, this is what you learn in your course, I'm just going to go into how you work it out. So your contribution margin is equal to your sales price minus your variable cost. Okay, now if I go back, selling price is 15, variable cost is 9, so that's 15 take away 9, which is going to be $6. Okay, so that's my contribution margin. Now to get the percentage, the contribution margin percentage, okay, that's going to be your contribution margin over your selling price. So that there is your fraction, which you then convert to a percentage by timesing by 100. Okay, so let's look at our details. Contribution margin was 6. Our selling price was 15. And we're going to times that by 100. So 6 divided by 15 times by 100 gives me 40%. So your contribution margin percentage is 40%. Now that's part A. Part B says, if we have sales of 240,000, what would be the contribution margin from these sales? Okay, now the contribution margin would be that percentage of the selling price. So your contribution margin is going to be 40% of the sales, which is 240,000. So that's 40 over 100 times by your 240,000. So go to your calculator, 40 divided by 100 times by your 240,000, and you end up getting $96,000 as your contribution margin.